Hi, I'm Jim Van Ostrand. I serve on the Financial Oversight Committee. When we built our new sanctuary 10 years ago, we took out a mortgage, a really big mortgage. Today, our outstanding balance is $900,000. Our monthly payments are $6,666. I know, right? We pay over $80,000 a year, and that's a lot of money. Money that could be put to better use. For example, Sunday services, music and art, social justice, environmental stewardship, religious education, and all sorts of things that make our church the greatest church on earth. So we want to raise $450,000 and cut our mortgage balance in half. That puts $40,000 a year back where it belongs, in the work and life of our church. Please give generously to the special campaign and annual pledge drive.
We all have within us the power to hope and the power to make change. And we have hope among us as a congregation to create a place that we can continue to welcome people into this faith, to impact their own lives. And then we have the power among us to go out into the world and really make a difference about things we care about.
The fact that the church is so active in social change and social action, I think that's really important.
Every Sunday you feel good about yourself, you feel good about the world, and you want to, it makes me at least want to go out and do something good for the world as well. And I know that our church works really hard to make that change that we want in the world actually happen. And I think that's really important. Instead of just sitting here and getting inspired, it also, I know that our church is a change maker and that the people that go here are change makers, and we actually do things behind what we talk about on Sundays.
Well, we're both on the Racial Justice Task Force.
We both went to the Selma.
That just really brought home to me how racism seems to be just seeped into the earth and in the culture and in the atmosphere. And not that it can't change, but it just felt very powerful, very disturbing, but was also kind of eye-opening because it was like facing my fears in a way, confronting it. And that was really valuable to me. And it made me have an even deeper appreciation for what people who lived through it at the time, what that must have felt like, because I felt like I was going to Disneyland by comparison to what they must have felt.
Yeah, I think that's very apt. It did feel, you know, you felt like you were almost a historic reenactor in some ways, and to be in touch, those moments where you could be in touch with what was at stake 50 years ago were very
it was
poignant,
powerful.
Very powerful. I think that one of the things that happens for us when we live in communities that are separated by how we look is that we grow to be uncomfortable when people look differently. And one of the best things about being down there was being aware of how uncomfortable I can be when I'm paler than everybody else. And you know, that may not be what you're supposed to get from it, but sometimes being uncomfortable is a point of growth. Like, it's good to be uncomfortable.
I think there is an awareness that the majority of the folks in our church perhaps come from a place of privilege that you might not find in churches that may have more economic or racial diversity. So there are a lot of questions being asked, and right now I don't think we have the answers, but what we're hoping to do is zero in on how we can contribute. I don't think we're seeking to fix everything or that we can. I think we're making ourselves available, asking hopefully questions to different communities, how they need our help, and also confronting our own biases, which we all have acknowledged that we have.
I mean, in terms of Unitarian churches, it's just really an opportunity for fabulous community, in my mind. The ability to give back, to participate, provide avenues to perhaps make the world a little better place than you found it.
But I think probably the most welcoming thing that people can do to feel connected is to get involved with the church, going to the programs or being on a committee. Or that was how I finally got comfortable myself. I was invited to be on a committee, and that was after a few years of coming. And once I did that, and then forming those connections, and those connections grew, and they just have kept growing, and many of those connections are so important to me today.
Can I do one more thing about money?
Please, we'll try to get it out of your system.
Running this church costs $2,500 per family. Now, we don't expect everybody to be able to donate that much, and that's why those who can afford it, we ask to give more. But I have a feeling that there are many families who don't know that the average cost per family is $2,500, and I think there are folks out there who, now that they know it, will reconsider their annual pledge, and if they can't afford it, to go to that level.